Recently I did a video on how taxation is theft. That's my 100% opinion on that, and I believe that, period. That's where it is. Nothing more. Nothing less. Taxation is theft. So I'm just thinking on that same line, same deal. It's like, if I want to trade somebody something right now for something they have, whether that be an item I want to trade, item, A for item B that they have, and we're good with it, and we want to swap, we can do that. Same with, I want to trade them, item A for some of their labor. I want them to do something in my house or in my yard. Or they want to trade me their item B for some labor that we may be able to do. Work around the house, do something in our house, do something electronic-wise, computer-wise, set up something for them, a website, whatever the case may be, vice versa. So we can do that, and we do that in different scenarios, different circumstances. Once cash gets involved, we can still do that at a certain level, and everything's fine. But once you're doing this, like I stated with the taxation is theft deal, you're doing this at a higher volume of stuff. So a business, a small business, whether the small business is one person to another, individual or a couple individuals, the law, I say that lightly and loosely, the law, which I don't believe that should be a law anyways, and I don't believe it is constitutional, but that's a different story. The law says now we have to get the government involved, because everything that I give to him for his labor, or everything he gives to me or she gives to me for my items, because I'm business or they're a business, needs to have the government involved, and then the government gets their take. So before any business stuff was involved, before anything business-wise was said or paperwork was done, that kind of stuff, and given to the state, we get along fine, and the government had no involvement whatsoever. I equate this to like a garage sale. So people come to your garage sale, do you charge them tax when you're selling them items? Do they expect to pay tax when they purchase a pair of jeans, or they purchase a toy, or they purchase, a Lego set or whatever? No, this is a garage sale. This is stuff that tax had already been paid on when it was purchased the first time, and it was paid with money that had already been taxed because someone had made it in their job. So they got income tax taken out for that. They used what was left after that tax was taken to purchase the item that they paid sales tax on. And once they had it, and they put it in the garage sale, the kids play with it, whatever, it's a Lego set, then it sits there. Taxes have already been paid on it twice, if not more, and we know there's a lot more to that. But that's the whole taxation is theft deal. But so far, taxes have been paid on this Lego set twice. More than that, but we're going with the two. Now, you get rid of cash. And if you have a garage sale that's not a bartering garage sale, come bring stuff to barter with. If you don't do that, and you don't have the ability to trade labor or whatever for items, then you're going to be using this digital currency, whatever they're pushing us to, the Fed coin, Fed now, whatever you're going to call it. They always call it the greatest names to take people's minds off of it, like use this digital currency to save the puppies and the kitties, put smiles on children's faces around the world every time you use it. That's how ridiculous it is, because it's always the exact opposite. Like the Patriot Act is anything but patriotic. Anyways, so on that, now that you're having a garage sale and you're going to be using this digital currency, they're going to want involvement. They're going to want a transaction. They're going to want to keep tabs on every transaction. They're going to want tax on every transaction. So you're selling things, you're going to have to keep tabs on what you're selling, because you have to charge tax, because by the end of your garage sale, whether it's a weekend, few weeks, or a month long, and the government finds out, absolutely, because you've been using this Fed coin and its digital currency from the government. If that's what you choose to do and not use bartering only, now they're going to say, hey, where did all this come from? And I see you got all these transactions and you did all this at this time and you did it all here and you got all this stuff from these different people. Now we want our cut. My first initial reaction would be, for what? What did you do? Why do I give you 20%? Even 3%? But we know it's a lot more than that. 10%. Why should you get that? What did you do? You didn't do a dang thing. But after I've done all the work, and I did all the hustle, and I spent all my blood, sweat, and tears for this time to do this, now you reach in and you're like, give me what is rightfully mine. That is a false narrative. That's not the way you should be thinking about this. That's not the way it should work. That's the way it's going to work with this cashless society. I'm just getting this out there to try to, I wasn't going to talk about a cashless society for this video, but it's there. I want people to use cash. Use cash. Use cash as much as you can. Pay with everything in cash, if you can. I think things would change tremendously if everything goes back to cash for the most part. Maybe if 30% goes back to cash, you will see and notice a difference. I guarantee you. Anyways, so the government says, we want to be in charge of this. We want our cut, our fair share, as they put it. So I've always touted, gold, silver, and land, anything that has any sort of wealth preservation, and ammo, guns, anything that people are going to want or need, like tools, that kind of stuff. If you have some sort of skills that people might need that they're not able to do, that all is barterable, all of it. And some people are there with the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies. Is that going to be a big role in the future? Maybe, I don't know. In a perfect world, I say that stuff that has no overhead, it's disconnected, it has no centralization to it, it's decentralized. If that takes over and that is what we use for exchange and trade, great. That means the government has nothing to do with it whatsoever. Nothing. Zero. Zilch. And Bitcoin is traceable, trackable. It's not as bad as this digital currency is that they're going to put in place and want to put in place. Bitcoin is a way better option, in my opinion. But what do I know? I'm just me. And then I know I've heard there's other things out there like Monero and Pirate Chain that are untraceable, that I think they say, well, those are only used on the dark web and only criminals use that, so stay away. Well, you know what criminals mainly use for exchange of goods and services? If you want to call that killing somebody or the drug trade, criminals, you want to call them criminals, what they mainly use is cash. And that's U.S. Federal Reserve note. It's the Federal Reserve note from the United States. It's cash. That's the main thing they use for exchange, period. So they're going to feed you all this crap about Monero and Pirate Chain and Bitcoin. No, that's so small. So what's used in the criminal, end of things. It's the main thing they use is cash. So that'll be their next ploy. Well, we're going to try to get rid of, criminals and all this criminal activity by getting rid of cash. That's why we're going cashless, so we can keep tabs and all this illegal stuff, so they have nowhere to go, nothing to do. Well, that's their sales pitch, but as always from government, it's always exactly the opposite. They don't give they don't care at all. 2 cents as to what those criminals are going to do or not. What they care about are what the 8 billion of you and I are going to do and what we're going to be allowed to do. What they're going to say is okay for us to do. How they want to change our behaviors by having a digital currency. And that's what they're going to do. Because if they don't like what you're saying or doing, shut them off. Don't give them permission to use his digital currency for a week. So he's punished, he's grounded. Shut him off. He needs to, earn his permission, earn our permission to get permission to use his digital currency again. And that's where it's going to be. I mean, people might think this sounds crazy, but think about how life was in 2019 to how it is today, July of 2021. So I'm just going over a couple notes here. So once we're cashless, you're going to be watched and recorded. I mean, they're going to control everything. I told you. So on that, there's no more garage sale shopping really, because you can't use cash, like I said. Everything you purchase from a garage sale will be taxed, or any garage sales will be. They have to give a tax form and pay the government their fair share. Put that in quotes. So if you want to do any exchange for babysitting, pay one of the high schoolers around the area or middle schoolers to watch your children, you can't pay them in cash at that point. If they're not accepting barterable stuff, gold, silver, anything else, you're going to have to pay them as digital currency if they're not accepting Bitcoin, Monero, Pirate Chain, that kind of stuff. And then what? So you're paying this, say this girl, to babysit your kids for 3 hours. Let's say you paid her $20 an hour, so $60 for the 3 hours. So you pay her. Government has record of that. They keep tabs of that. So now she doesn't get $60. She gets taxes taken out before she gets it. Her income taxes taken out before she gets that from you. So when you send $60 to her, on her end, it's going to show up as, we'll say, $44, because $16 is taken out. And then your end, if you want to do something, you want to sell something to somebody, if they buy that from you, you'll say, oh, I want to sell this for $2,000 because that's for this motorcycle, whatever it is. And then they say, okay, they put in $2,000. By the time it gets to you, tax is already taken out. That's going to happen. And it will happen. I mean, I don't foresee it not happening unless we have a whole uprising and a whole change in the mental thinking of what's going on in this country. Because it's already happened in China. It's already happening in Europe. It's like a tidal wave. It's going to happen unless we prepare, smarten up, wise up, and take back what is rightfully ours. Period. So that isn't really what I was going to do for this video, but that's where it went. That's where it is, and that's where I left off. Always, thanks for watching. If you like this, hit the like, share, subscribe. As always, stay vigilant, protect yourself, protect your family, protect your health, and protect your wealth.